Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to Level Up Your Knees.
Super excited to have everybody here tonight.
Let's get into presentation mode.
Awesome.
All right. So, hey, we're glad you're here. My name is Amy Hooper.
I'm Anthony Rosito.
We are Eastside Movement Company, and we wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit. So we are both doctors of physical therapy and business owners. We're also recreational cyclists. Anthony, tell me about your favorite place to ride right now.
I have been enjoying riding around Decker Lake and then a little loop past that. So it's a nice little 2-hour ride for me. So kind of perfect. How about yours?
Nice. It's basic and it's simple, but Southern Walnut Creek Trail has a special place in my heart, and I've been vibing on Southern Walnut Creek Trail lately. It's a good ride,
Everything's in bloom right now too, which makes it nice. It's nice and covered right now. I always feel like it breaks the wind. Probably doesn't, but it feels like it does.
It does. Okay, so why are we doing this today? Cyclists have knee pain a whole lot, and we're both cyclists, and we've both had knee pain, and knee pain sucks. You shouldn't live with it. You shouldn't bike with it. You should do something about it.
Agreed. With all that. So what does knee pain mean? It means a barbed wire around your knee, obviously, because it's in such just disarray. But really it means, a lot of time spent not doing what you want to do, right? What you're passionate about, who you care to be around, right? What you want to achieve, right? So you're not around your friends, you're not going out to races, you're not competing in races at a higher level. The other thing too is it's a lot of wasted time, money, and energy, right? You get knee pain, you're not sure what to do. You go to a doctor's visit where you see him for 15 minutes. You get a cortisone injection that didn't really work, or you have to then go and get an MRI that didn't tell you anything. And that's just countless, hours lost, and then money spent on something that you might not have needed any of that in the first place. So those are all frustrating things, and we want to try to provide people with some solutions for that.
Yeah. So from another perspective of what does knee pain mean when you're on your bike, knee pain means that something is inefficient, something is not set up correctly for your body. A lot of time with folks, it's a combination of things. So today we're going to talk about our biggest three sort of knockout points for knocking out knee pain, and what knee pain means in the context of that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be your bike set up. The second thing is we're going to talk about your pedal stroke and efficiency with your pedal stroke. And the third thing is we're going to talk about glutes and hamstrings. We're also going to talk about a couple other muscles, but typically when someone has knee pain, on the bike, it tends to be from muscles that start up at the hip, not functioning properly in terms of a muscle activation standpoint. Okay, so in terms of bike fit, let's talk about bike fitting a little bit. There are three major components, three interfaces that are changeable once you already have a bike. And those are your pedal and your cleats on your pedals, your saddle, and your handlebars. So for knee pain, the two that are relevant are your pedal and your cleat and your saddle bar. So if we think about where your feet are versus where your knees are on your bike, your knees and your feet should be in a straight line. Sounds simple enough, but a lot of folks ride with their knee either inside of their foot or outside of their foot, and that can be a major cause of knee pain because you think about your knee rotating around and around and around as you bike, and how many times your knee makes a circle as you bike, depending on how many miles that you ride. If your knee is inside of your foot or outside of your foot, you're going to be beating up the inside of your knee or your outside of the knee for thousands of repetitions, right? So it's really easy for knee pain to pop up from there. When we talk about saddle position, if your saddle is too high or too low, too forward or too back, that can also contribute to knee pain because your saddle height determines what angle your knee is at the bottom of your pedal stroke. And it's really easy for cyclists to beat their knees up from a poor bike setup. Our advice there is go get a bike fit. Bike fits are really great. They're well worth the investment of time and money. And there are lots of folks in town that do a really great job bike fitting. I'm here with David Wanger. He owns a company called Dorada Training. They're really great. David got me feeling really, really awesome on my bike. Anthony, you want to talk about who you saw for bike fit in town?
Yeah, I saw TC Porterfield at Mellow Johnny's. Really awesome job, really thorough. Feel so much better, much more confident on my bike as well. So the second thing I would say is pedal stroke and motor control. Like that's probably one of the biggest things that like, especially newer cyclists or like intermediate cyclists that have been going for a while that have just like kind of like slowly built up like their miles can always improve upon. So when we look at the pedal stroke, like if you look at our warm colors there, our red, orange, and yellow, those are going to be kind of our glutes, hamstring, and our hamstrings. And then our cooler colors are going to be more of our quads. So a lot of times people will mash and mash and mash with those quads and not utilize those hamstrings and glutes quite as much as like, they could. And so probably one of the biggest things is start thinking about strengthening up your glutes, hamstrings, even a little bit of your hip flexors and your abs, because those all work together to improve your pedal stroke. But you can work on strengthening as much as you want, but if you don't get the motor control right, you're never going to utilize those muscles as well as you'd like. So one thing we'd recommend is doing some pedal stroke drills. So if we kind of divide our well, I guess I'll use the mouse, divide our pedal stroke into like quadrants, right? So this would be 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock. Do some drills where you're working between, you're focusing between 12 and 3, and then 3 and 6, and then 6 and 9, and then 9 and 12, and then try to then put them together. So 6 to 12. Over and over, or 9 to 3 over and over. And you do that for maybe 1 to 2 minutes at a time, like during a ride, just to break that up. That can really help a lot of the pain on your knees. The other thing too is to keep resistance low. A lot of cyclists have a very low cadence, probably like lower than 85. And really like, if you're just riding on the road, you should really want to be between 85 and 95. And if you're really going at a higher level, for a short burst, probably somewhere between 100, if not over 110.
Okay, so we talked about bike setup. We talked about your pedal stroke a little bit. Let's get into some exercise. And we've got a message in the chat. Emilio wants to know when we are going to start doing bike fits. To be determined. We're actually looking into classes right now. A lot of classes aren't happening because of the pandemic, but yeah, we're physical therapists. We know about anatomy, and we would love to do bike fits in the future and integrate those pieces together.
Yeah, and it would also give us a better idea of how people are moving on a bike, or like positioned on a bike as well. The more we can understand that, the more that we can help all of you guys. All right.
Okay, so we've got 2 exercises queued up for y'all. So you're going to need some space on the floor by a wall, and you're going to need a foam roller or another prop that you can use to prop yourself up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So we'll give everybody a minute to get situated.
Oh yeah.
And then once you're situated, go ahead and stand back up, and I'm gonna let Anthony run us through our first body check.
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're just gonna get up and just do a body weight squat. However you feel like that is best for you. So you can do arms out, arms to the side, doesn't really matter, go as low as possible. So basically you're gonna kind of squat down, see how that feels on your knees, on your back, on your hips, and then kind of like get an idea of what you're sensing more or less. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the first exercise called the foam roller bridge. And the goal of this is to engage your hamstrings and calves to basically help fire up that kind of posterior chain, so the back of your legs, and help you on that back portion of the pedal stroke. So I'm going to start off with it. We're going to have everybody do kind of like 1 to 2 rounds. So what you're going to do is you're going to just put like your balls of your feet on the foam roller, arms down at your side. You're going to first start off with just a slight tuck of the pelvis, just nice and easy. And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to push your heels up toward the ceiling through the balls of your feet. And then you're going to lift your pelvis slightly. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, about 3 to 5 times, however long you can hold it for. Ideally, people can do about 15 to 45 seconds. Once you get to 45 seconds with no problem, you then can switch to single leg. But today we'll just stick with double. Okay. So Assuming everybody's had a chance to do a round at this point. If anything feels weird or anything like that, you can put it in the chat. And so what you're gonna do next is, again, you're gonna kind of tuck your bottom under, flatten out your back, push your heels up toward the ceiling, and then just slightly lift your bottom off the floor. Okay, I'm not lifting up to here where I get my back involved. Again, I'm just rolling under, lifting the heels up, and then lifting off the ground. And I'm gonna hold this for about 3 breaths. One more. And relax. And then kind of repeat that again. And then what we'll do next is kind of recheck the squat, see how that feels.
We'll give everybody a moment to finish up their rounds and then to stand up and recheck their squat. We'll get the PowerPoint back up.
So let's recheck the squat. Again, kind of like squat down, see how you feel. If you have any changes, better or worse, put it in the chat. If things are feeling great, obviously we want to know. If things aren't feeling so great, we also would like to know that as well. And then we'll kind of go to the next one.
Squat felt much smoother.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So Amy's going to take you through the next one.
Let's get a picture. All right. So this one is called wall launch. Let's get set up here for wall launch. Okay. The purpose of wall launch is to get really good engagement of your glute max. So I'm going to mirror this position that I'm in on this picture. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment so you can see me big. What's going to happen is you're going to get up next to a wall and you're going to get your foot on the wall with your leg straight. We're going to do one leg at a time here. 2 legs is the super advanced, Superman version. So I'm going to focus on my right leg first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get foot flat on the wall and my knee is going to be mostly straight. From here, this other knee is bent, supporting me, and I'm going to get my forearms on the ground. I'm going to make sure that my shoulders and my hips and my foot are pretty much in a straight line here. My butt's a little bit high, so I'm going to scoot just a little bit. I'm going to tuck my tail because I don't want to use my back muscles here. I want my glutes, my butt muscles, and not my back muscles. So tuck tail. And I'm really going to push down and ground down through my foot, especially through my big toe and my arch. And I'm going to really try to squash that into the wall. From there, I'm going to rotate my foot outwards towards my pinky toe. And I really feel my glute firing up. If you're pressing into the wall and rotating your foot outward towards your pinky toe, you should feel your glute fire up. And I'm going to breathe from here. So I'm going to go for about 5 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep that tail tuck. Keep that glute engaged. Breath in. Big breath out. And I'm going to go for 3 more. It's easy to let your head drop down here. Do not let your head drop down. Stay in a straight line from your heel all the way to the crown of your head. If you start to feel your muscle activation bounce around a little bit, in that you felt it in your glute before and then you start to feel it creep around to other parts of your hip, it means that you're getting fatigued out and that you either need to re-hone in or you need to give your body a break and rest, right? So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to run through this one again. We're aiming for between 3 to 5 breaths here. You can do your other leg if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and get set up and do my other leg because I would like both my glutes to work well. You might find that one side's easier to activate than the other side. For me, my left side comes on a lot easier than my right side, which probably means I need to work on my right side more. Okay, then once you're done with that, go ahead and stand back up. We'll recheck the squat. I didn't check my squat before, but I know about what my squat usually feels like. And that feels pretty good to me.
Everybody back up.
We'll take everybody with us back to our previous setup, off of the floor. Okay, so let's talk about something else that we like for knees. One of our favorite tools for helping knock people out of pain and helping use the body's own healing response in our client's favor is actually dry needling. So Anthony's here holding a package of the needles that we like to use. Needles are super great for calming down angry knees, and is something that we use really commonly. And we wanted to bring it up as a tool that we particularly like for knees.
So yeah, as far as things go, think about like your knee pain from like a three-pronged perspective. Like, so bike fit, changing up of some of like your cycling habits, because like thousands of pedal strokes, if we can, essentially like improve the efficiency of that, like think about how much less of an impact that can have on your knee. And then also exercises to kind of like strengthen up, glutes, hamstrings, as well as like some of the hip flexor and ab coordination as well.
The other thing that we would like to talk about is that if you've had knee pain on the bike and it's been more than a just like one-off thing, you should really get help for that. We don't mean that you have to come get help from us. We would love to help you, and we think we are uniquely suited to help cyclists who have knee pain, because we are cyclists who have dealt with knee pain and who are especially good at addressing knee pain. But essentially, like, knee pain is a sign that your body needs something to be different, right? Like, knee pain isn't just random. It's a sign that like things are not set up the way that they need to be. And ideally, if you want to keep riding your bike for as long as like you would like to ride your bike, like years and years and years, hopefully to have the option to move your body like that, you should take care of your body, and you should respect the signals and the messages that your body is giving you. And pain is one of those signals. Pain is not random. Pain usually has a meaning behind it, and digging in a little bit to figure out what you need to do to help your body get back on the right path is a really good thing to do to take care of yourself. As a thank you for folks who attended this webinar, if you set up an appointment with us within the next 2 weeks, we will give you 50% off that appointment, which is a great deal to come see us as a thank you for spending some time with us this evening. If anybody has any questions, we'll gladly answer questions now. Don't be like Roscoe watching all your friends ride your bike. You should get out and ride your bike.
And all his questions go unanswered.
Okay, no questions. If you have questions, here's where you can find us. The place we're most active is on Instagram. We're Eastside Movement Co. on Instagram. You can also shoot us a text or a call through that number, and we'll get back to you. We respond to emails as well. We have a contact form on our website. We are not hard to get a hold of if you'd like to get a hold of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And like Amy said, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
All right. Peace, guys. Thanks for hanging out.